Stay tuned for Retire Your Way with Dale Soutis, a leading financial retirement strategist and the founder of Soutas Financial and Insurance Solutions, right here in Fresno. Every week, Dale discusses pressing financial topics of the week, ranging from reliable income strategies to our financial markets, including Social Security, tax strategies, wealth management, RMDs, legacy planning, long-term care solutions, and most importantly, how to make sure you have enough guaranteed lifetime income to retire your way with choice and dignity. From taxes to trends to total transparency, Dale covers it all. And now, here is Retire Your Way and Dale Soutis. This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutis of Soutas Financial. This week, what is going on with Americans delaying their own retirement? It seems to be on a bit of an upswing. But on the flip side of that, we also have our government employees who've been on shutdown for a while wondering, should I look at another career? RMDs, retirees in Medicare, all that and more on today's program. Mr. Dale Soutis, how are you doing this week, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you, Spike?
Busy.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, me too.
Enjoying the fall season, though, here, getting towards the end of the year. Mm-hmm. For all of our government employees out there, I don't even want to joke about, all the extra time off that you get to have, because I'm sure there's got to be tension and worry and concern about your careers. Dale, any government folks called you recently, or has this been going on since the beginning of the year when those reduction in forces had started from Mr. Doge a while ago? What's going on?
Yeah, I haven't gotten any new ones lately. Okay. Obviously, we have had ones who got that email and, the ticket to retire early. So, but no, I haven't had anyone recently, dealing with that. Unfortunately, ones are probably still working without pay, but that's always exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm sorry I can say this, and they're on the other side of the country. One of my best friends in the whole world is a TSA agent, and I got to say, he's known in his regular, if he's got a good night's sleep and had a great breakfast, he's a grumpy fella during the day. And he's just...
Oh, no, the TSA guys are always the happiest. My favorite to go see, yeah.
I'm telling you, he's one of my best friends in the whole world. And he would say, you know what, you're being kind, but I tell you what, you don't pay him for a couple of weeks and make him go to work. Whew, the atmosphere near the airport's not always as relaxing as it should be heading out towards vacation. But this does actually surprise me. So there was a study, and it was published here in Financial Advisor magazine, showing how a lot of Americans lately retiring much later, I think, than a couple, 3 decades ago. Some different reasons, maybe we'll get into that. But first of all, Dale, are you noticing from the beginning of your career to where you're at right now, are the retirement conversations starting a little bit later in age than previous decades, in your opinion?
Good question. I mean, I'm thinking of ones I've been talking to recently. I've had quite a few. I mean, closing in on a dozen different families, couples, individuals who are actually under age 60, and they're getting ready. They're wanting to know, how to retire, soon. And which is really smart, because even if they want to work for a few more years or whatever, it's smart to know that their path, as some say, or ask, they're on a good path, or things will work out. I don't know. I mean, it used to be people were looking at retiring, I think, older. I'm not seeing, I mean, some are delaying, but I think more so me seeing people, what's really encouraging, I think, once you hear our show, are realizing maybe I should just have, my income, assets, projected income, and, Social Security or pensions and all that looked at to see that I can retire in a year or 2 or 5 years or whatever, and be okay. And it's just good to be able to see people pat them on the back, say, keep doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
Or you're in a good situation. It's also nice. I had one recently where he would like to retire right away. And so I'm going to work up his plan. But many times I'm able to show people also that instead of thinking you have to work another 2, 5 years or whatever, no, you're in a good position. Even if you don't start Social Security right away, to where you could retire, you could pay the bills, you could play, you could do all the fun things you want to do, and your money and income will last. So that's encouraging.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that when I help people see that.
Yeah, this came from an economic review, actually from a student organization over here at Berkeley, where they had talked to several thousand retirees. Some of their reasons, maybe this will track with you, realizing, and this is a good thing, I think Americans realizing we're living longer lifespans. Americans are seeing a lot of the rising costs. Clearly, they call it kind of a breakdown of pension coverage, just a few of the factors. Would you agree with that? I mean, that we're living longer. I mean, there have been some studies and research saying, the first 120-year-old person is probably already walking around on this planet. I mean, not 120 yet, but they're going to get there. I think there actually was one recently. I think there was somebody.
120 of them?
Yeah, well, no, 120 years old.
Yeah,
I wasn't on this continent somewhere,
I know.
but I think it was like 118 or 119 or something like that. Amazing.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah,
Living longer.
I have people who I've worked with over the years, and they've retired, and they're in their 90s. I've had several exceed 100 over the years. So it's sometimes people are thinking, yeah, maybe I better delay. But again, if you know your income will keep up with what you need to pay the bills and be able to do the fun things you want to do, and even keep yourselves out of a nursing home down the road, if you know that your income plan is solid, you can retire sooner than later. I think that's the thing. And some people think they've got to wait until they're 70, or maybe they have to wait until they're mid 60s or whatever. But again, some people do. But if you know your income's going to last, why not jump out of the workforce earlier and get to have more fun?
I like what you're saying, though. Let's evaluate wherever you're at, no matter the age. We'll say this, though. We always say, if you're serious about retirement planning, Dale is serious about helping you and reviewing. But I tell you what, if you're in your 50s and you want to know if you're close to it, if you want to know if you're on the right pathway of saving, if you are choosing the correct investments for yourself inside your retirement accounts at work, yes, we can actually help you do that. We can review those. If you would like to get started on your own retirement readiness review, it starts right now with a phone call. That's not going to interrupt the show. It's going to go to the Secure Call Center, and they will schedule an appointment for you. Now, the interesting thing is, Dale's going to tell you all the different cities that he's talked to over the last few weeks. And I tell you what, it's not just right here in Fresno where his radio antenna is. You've been talking to people all over the state. Here's the phone number, though. You want your own no-cost retirement readiness review in person, over the phone, or Zoom? Give us a call. Schedule that time. It is no cost to you. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Dale, gosh, I remember this from radio shows before where they would, you pick up a caller and you'd say the town. How many different towns have you talked to over the last few weeks?
So it's interesting. I've had different ones up and down the state. I had somebody who, because one of the main stations goes quite far, and he heard our radio show while driving his daughter up to San Francisco. And he was out of San Diego, but he heard it when he was traveling on I-5. I had some others, that heard it as they're traveling from the coast out towards Salinas, Monterey County. I've had ones from Santa Cruz, Modesto,
Springville,
Porterville, Springville.
Crazy. Fantastic.
All over the place. But
we love our listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
It still amazes me because they'll maybe only hear a part of the show because they're traveling or maybe going up to Hume Lake, which is a favorite spot for a lot of families. And they say, well, I'd like to talk. But what impressed me, which it was a nice compliment, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. One of them said recently that, hey, I really liked how when you said you spent a lot of time with ones, you're not just there to see what you can get out of them. And sometimes, they're doing things perfectly. You might spend, a couple hours or more reviewing where they're at, what they have, what they want to do, and pat them on the back. You're doing fine. You don't need me to change your investments. You might need to go set up a trust if you didn't have one, or, maybe some minor tweaks that I don't necessarily make money off of, but they're realizing that they can get help. And they don't have to worry about bringing in their checkbook when they sit down with us. It doesn't matter how many times we visit with them. We don't bill that way. I mean, technically, to do a retirement income plan, we could charge for that, the way I'm licensed. But I don't want to, I don't have to, and I'm not going to. So we do that for free for our families. If it makes sense to implement some of the tools, some of the suggestions, if we can help, fine. If not, that's okay too. It just, if I do the right thing for the ones I sit down with, I know I don't have to worry about, my own paycheck, so to speak. I can, they'll tell other people how we are in helping
If you'd
people.
like to learn more about Dale Soutis and his process and the team and exactly what he can do for you, you can go to the website when you're not driving around. Go to Soutas.com, Soutas.com. You can also write Dale there if you want to. You can remember this. Dale, the @ symbol on your keyboard, Soutas.com, Dale@Soutas.com, or just give us a call, 833-856-1382, and say you want to get started on your own retirement readiness review. Absolutely no cost to you. Do you want to let the economics of what's going on today determine when you're going to be able to retire and how you're going to be able to retire? Or do you want to be in control of your financial destiny? We'll talk about that when we get back, right after these messages.
Stock market losses have you worried? Claim your free portfolio risk report and protection review from financial advisor Dale Soutis of Soutis Financial right now. Call 833-856-1382. If the recent market volatility has you worried about your retirement investments, you're not alone. Right now is the time to take action to protect your investments. Surely markets do not always rise, but if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, you don't have the same time to make up for portfolio losses as you did in your 30s and 40s. Claim your portfolio risk review from Soutis Financial today. Call 833-856-1382 or go to Soutis.com. Your portfolio risk review will provide action steps of what you could do to protect your wealth from current market swings. Get your free portfolio risk review right now. Call Dale Soutis of Soutis Financial at 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382 or Soutis.com. That's Soutas.com.
In your retirement spending plan, which accounts do you take from first to pay your monthly expenses? Your 401ks, 403bs, or 457s, or your IRAs, or your Roth accounts, investment, or savings accounts? Do you turn on your Social Security right away or delay? Do you use the growth from your mutual funds, ETFs, or bond funds first? Did you sell your business to create income, or do you have life insurance or annuity options? Or what about using HSAs for medical costs? Are you unclear if you have a retirement income strategy at all? You have accumulated assets for retirement for years. Now you need an efficient strategy to make certain these assets work together and last as long as you need them to. Call Dale Soutis of Retire Your Way and Soutis Financial for your own complimentary written income plan right away. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Or you can write Dale at Dale@Soutis.com. Soutas.com. This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutis, financial advisor, the founder of Soutis Financial right here in California. Oh my gosh, you've hitting all areas of California with phone calls and Zoom calls, appointments.
Emails,
San Diego,
yeah.
Salinas, Springville, Modesto, Santa Cruz, right here in Fresno. We want to reach as many of the stretches of California as we possibly can. If you're hearing us on the airwaves, we want to let you know that you too can have your own retirement readiness review. All of your numbers. We'll talk about whatever is on your mind. Most especially, are you frozen in indecision? I can't believe this, Dale. It was like, we talk a lot about behavioral finance, and I witnessed it There was a gentleman at one of the live events, and I talked to him for you afterwards. And he was such a reasonable person and such a nice person. And he's been retired for about a year or so, good middle 60-something years old. And I said, so he's like, yeah, I've got a question for you. He's like, I'm living off my Social Security. I've got X amount in savings, but I don't touch it. And I'm living in worry all of the time because I don't want to outspend my money. So then I asked him, so well, would you like to see from Dale, like what an income plan would look like? He's like, I don't know. I need to think about it. Yeah, and it was just, I talked to him for 10 or 15 minutes. I'm like, look, we're not going to charge you anything. There's no cost. Maybe it's me. If you want to talk to Dale or somebody else from the team, that's awesome. But it's like, I couldn't figure out what he was frozen with. Have you,
all the time.
What do you think it is, Dale?
Yeah. No, I see that many times. People, they're getting close to or just recently retired, and they're like, okay, they feel kind of stuck. Like, the big concern is they know they and or their spouse, could live a long time, another 20, 30 years even, let's say. And so will my money last? Will my income keep up with inflation? I mean, because the last few years has scared people. Things are costing more. So they're like, And what I emphasize to people is I don't want you to feel stuck. I don't want you to feel confined or live what we call a just-in-case retirement. See, I've seen that too many times over the 30-plus years where people say, okay, when I retire, these are the fun things I like doing. I want to travel. I want to get a boat and do fishing, or I like to be active with now pickleball and golf or whatever, right? They want to do all these things, be with the family, spoil the spouse, spoil the grandkids. And then I see them retire and they do nothing and their money grows, because just in case it's got to be there. And, of course, I ask them, well, just in case of what? Well, something happens. Like what? Well, medical. Oh, you don't have any Medicare or health insurance? Oh, no, we have Medicare and supplement and all that. Okay. Well, you're not going to be out of pocket if something happens, like even hospitalization. You're not really going to be out of pocket much for that. That's not going to break the bank. What are you worried about? And really, 9 times out of 10, it's, well, what if one of us or both of us need care down the road? Because that can be expensive. Okay, well, that has to be
there's
planned
tools
for, right? Tools, yeah. Even though I don't advocate a lot of long-term care insurance methods, there's ways to build a care check into your income plan. But so here are these people, I've seen them over the past where years ago, I'm like, oh, okay, well, why are you doing that? And I don't twist their arm, but their money grows and grows. They die. The money goes to the kids, and guess what the kids do? They travel. They play pickleball and do fishing and whatever. They do all that stuff that the parents said they wanted to do, but didn't do any of it. They just stayed frozen, like you called it, and that's no way to be retired. So for this person and many others, I like showing. Okay, so you have this much saved up. Great. Here's what you get in retirement from Social Security and or maybe pensions. Less pensions, obviously, today for people. But what do you need to pay the bills? What do you need to do the fun things you want to do? I know how to calculate what you need way down the road if one of you or both of you need care. So I build that out to show them, okay, here's a method. Have a solid income plan. We might need a tool or two that can give you some additional income, or maybe you don't need that. Just know that your money will last, can free up their minds. It's just, it's amazing. And I love it when when the light bulb goes off and say, oh, so I can do all those things. Well, yeah, you'll be okay.
But Dale, what do we do for the folks? There's got to be listeners out there who feel like that, and we empathize with you. There's got to be spouses who feel like their spouse or partner is that one who they don't want to spend, they don't want to put together the plan. How do we get them to take their own action? That's what, because I said, look, you can see what an income plan looks like. We're not going to charge you for it. Don't bring your credit card. Don't bring your purse or wallet or anything. So we'll show you what it looks like. This is a decision that you'll make on your own together with us for us to implement. But there's so many folks who are stuck in the fear. And I just don't know how to get them to take action on their own, because they could be living a much happier life. Much more. The guy worked hard for over 30 years. I want him to enjoy the rest of it.
Right.
Because there's a long ways to go with it. So how do we get them to pick up the phone?
Good.
How do we get them to go to the website?
Well, interesting. In a nutshell, or what I like to highlight to people, even at the beginning of our workshops at Fresno State, when we give those every other month, or when people come in, I like them to get to know, our attitude here and how we look at you. Okay. In a nutshell, there's a 4-minute little video about my story as a little guy, and what I went through with 4 different body casts over an 11-month span of time, which helped my attitude immensely, realizing that the rough time I was going through wasn't going to last indefinitely. So it molded my thinking of nothing bad will last forever. And, they can see that story online. But so that's how I want people to feel. I want them to feel like the little plaque on my desk that says, not to spoil the ending for you, but everything's going to be okay. Now, sometimes, not always, but sometimes people have this lump of money, various accounts, savings, IRAs, 401ks, TSPs. They've got their money and they have some income in retirement. Sometimes I show them, well, we'll use a little bit of your savings to provide an additional guaranteed lifetime income, similar to Social Security. And especially if those don't have any pensions, that can be really handy to know that, okay, this income on top of Social Security will keep them going, and it keeps growing, keeps up with inflation, and you can't outlive it, nor if you're married, nor it can be joint lifetime income. So, and then if that solidifies your income plan and you still have money to play with, well, obviously, it takes that pressure off. If you know your income's going to last, how do you feel about being retired? And I don't want people feeling like they're stuck in a body cast, as I compare it to. So, and I really love helping people see that they can retire, do the things they really want to do. Sometimes it's fun because sometimes I'm picking on people well, is that all you want to do? Well, what else? I have ones I know who they don't really spend. They got tons of money and they don't spend. So I don't have to get any fancy tools. I just, I say, what else can you do? What else would you like to do? Sometimes I can't push ones to spend their money, and that's okay. But because they're still happy doing what they're doing. But for those others who really, like I had recently, somebody, they've got some money saved up, not tons and tons, and they like doing things. They really spend. And at first I was like, is their money going to last too? I was thinking that until I really worked on it. And I had to tweak it a little bit here and there until I got to a point where I was able to show them, hey, yes, your money will last, even though you want to do all these many things that maybe many others don't do. So their monthly nut was bigger than, others. But we showed them a way how to make that income last and keep going and growing, and they're tickled. I'm tickled for them. So
I have a new offer for our listeners, and I don't know if I'm going to call it financial therapy or financial coaching, whichever I think we can get away with here. But what are you, as a listener out there, stuck with? What is on your mind? What is your concern? Would you like to speak with a financial professional who does retirement planning, who's done it for decades, who knows the healthcare systems of the state of California and outside of other states as well, knows how to put together income planning, understands the tax strategies? What are you stuck with? What keeps you up at night? What is your concern or worry or fear? Or what is it of your spouse or partner who you're with? Would you like your own financial therapy session with your financial advisor, Dale Soutis of Soutas Financial? You can do it over Zoom. We can schedule that time. We can do it over a phone call, or you can come into the office and we will do your financial retirement therapy session. We might do 2 or 3 or 4 of them. What do you need help with? Let Dale help you get off the fence so you can start living the life you want to in retirement. Call the phone number. Call right now. Schedule your time. It is no cost to you. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Folks are standing by. They'll schedule that time. More with Dale Soutis after these messages.
Get your comprehensive, complimentary Retire Your Way review by calling 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Are you worried that you waited too late to start your retirement planning? That you waited too late to start saving? At Soutas Financial, we believe it's never too late to start planning for your future. We can help you develop a personalized retirement plan that is tailored to your current needs and goals. The team at Soutas Financial will sit down with you and provide an evaluation of your current path, including your investment strategy, tax planning, and risk management approach. We'll help you identify potential areas for improvement and work with you to create a retirement plan that is designed to help you work towards having financial security and peace of mind in retirement. It's not too late for you to get started with Soutas Financial. Call us today to schedule your complimentary retirement planning session. We believe we can help you get on the path to financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Soutis and the team at Soutas Financial to get started on your own complimentary written financial plan. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Inflation has risen to the highest level in over 40 years, according to the April 2022 U.S. Inflation Calculator. Will your investments provide you the income you need in retirement? Are you losing purchasing power of your savings to inflation? Simply stated, if the daily cost of goods and services is 8% higher and you are earning 4% in your investments, that money buys you less of what you need. Right now is the time to act to be certain you have an income strategy that overcomes the effects of inflation. Get your own complimentary retirement income review by calling Dale Soutis of Soutis Financial and retire your way. 833-856-1382. You might have the savings you need today to weather this storm, but how will inflation affect your nest egg 5, 10, or 15 years from now? Discover the peace of mind you deserve. Call and ask for your complimentary, no obligation, retirement income review from Dale Soutis of Soutis Financial. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutis of Soutis Financial. Always, if you want to schedule your own appointment to come on in or to talk to Dale over a Zoom, wherever you're at in the state of California, it starts with you making a phone call, scheduling that time. It's no cost to you, 833-856-1382. Dale, another interesting conversation we had at the end of an event. And you know what? I'm so happy for people who do have, it seems like, more than enough saved. That's great. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to do any kind of planning. Started out with a conversation about Roth conversion. He said, I'm 70. I appreciate all the things you were talking about with Roth conversion, but do I need to do that? I mean, my money's already there.
One, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think? Somebody at 70 years old, let's say, because I generally speaking, I remember he had at least $3 or $4 million. He's saying, is it worth it for me to do a Roth conversion at the age of 70, married, as a spouse was sitting next to him? What do you think, just with that information?
I mean, that little bit alone, I want people to think about that because, yes, if he can do some Roth conversions and he's got the money elsewhere, like savings or elsewhere where he could pay the tax on it, and he converts, let's say, $100,000 a year from 401k, TSP, or IRA to Roth, pay the tax from savings, don't reduce your $100,000 by the tax, and only have, let's say, $70,000 in your Roth. So what's the wisdom of doing that? To me, it's simple. Okay, you're married. Likely, she's going to outlive you. So you're going from, if you die, you're going from the very low married tax rates, and now you're leaving that tax bomb to your spouse at the high single tax rates. So, I mean, more and more people need to know, don't be saving, tax deferred. For the most part, a lot of people don't need to do that. We're, at the third lowest tax rates in U.S. history. Yeah. And So right now, oh, look at that. I saved, $1,000 in my taxes. Got to put all this money in my 401k or whatever. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, think about it. Why? So you're saving tax at the lowest tax rates. Where do most people think tax rates will be 5, 10, 20 years from now? Everybody says, well, they'll be higher. Okay, great. So you saved a little tax today to pay tax on that money and the growth of that money at a higher tax rate down the road. And you, 70-year-old, you die before your wife. Now she's going to pay at even a higher tax bracket because she's gone from the married tax rates to the single high tax rate. So, it is smart to be looking at that if it makes sense, and get Uncle Sam out of your retirement money as fast as you can. I liken it to, whenever we've had a Band-Aid on our arm or whatever, and how does it feel to just pull it off very slowly? It hurts a lot longer. But typically, what do? We grab it and we just, boom, rip it off. It stings, but it goes away a little quicker.
Yeah.
So sometimes, the sting of paying some tax today, while taxes are on sale. What do I mean by that? We're still at the real low tax rates, and they've been extended through 2028 and probably at least another year, because the new administration would probably take them at least that long to change them or bring them back up. But tax rates are on sale. The brackets are low. We've never been in a time where a married couple can make over roughly $425,000, and still pay no more than 25% on the taxes. So get Uncle Sam out of that money as fast as you can if it makes sense. We do help people look at that. It's more the tax planning. We don't do tax preparation. That's your accountant, CPAs. They want to show you how to save some tax today. Woo, look at that. Exciting. I'm not excited about that. I'm excited about showing you, oh, look at that. I'm not going to have to pay taxes on this money way down the road throughout retirement.
No, wait a second. I'm going to say hi to our CPAs out there, because we like you as well.
Yeah.
But what Dale is saying here is that there's a very different perspective of being a retirement planner, taking into account taxes. And for all of our CPAs out there, we respect what you do. But here's the thing. When people come to you and say, I want to pay as little in taxes this tax season as possible, I'm sure as a service provider, you want to give them what they want. But the thing is I want our listeners to start reframing that conversation for themselves and say to their CPAs, I want to pay as little in taxes in retirement as possible. Let's change that conversation.
Right. Yes.
Dale, what I want you to do is we're going to pay for you to go to a CPA convention. We're going to start finding the largest CPA conventions.
Oh, boy.
And you're going to be like the anti-speaker there. And you're going to say, guys and gals, you're getting it all wrong. You got to prepare these people for retirement, not just for a great tax return for this year. Do you have CPAs you work with, or folks who kind of get on board with what you're doing?
They get my thinking, and they do encourage their clients.
They get your thinking? That's good, because I certainly don't. No, I get it. I get it about your taxes for sure.
No, it just, that's part of it. Do the proper tax planning, reduce your taxes for the future.
I really wonder how it changes their practice. If they look across from clients, because that's got to be a scary thing for a CPA. You look at somebody and go, look, here's what we're going to do. I want you to start paying more in taxes the next 3 or 4 years. So when you go to your friend at the cocktail party in, April, May, you say, I paid very little in taxes. In fact, I should get a tax refund this year. And you say the opposite. You go, I paid $50,000 in taxes, and I'm happy about it.
I'm thrilled.
People go, well, you're crazy.
Yeah, go see my guy.
Who's your CPA? You're not. That's crazy.
He could help you
but
pay more.
This can be a good thing. This can be a good thing, right?
Be. Yeah. I mean, how many times have I had people I've talked to, and they've talked about, they're in that first part of the year, up through about April, and they're saying, I want to put another X amount of dollars in my IRA, SEP IRA, my 401k, whatever, because my CPA says it'll save me a couple thousand or whatever in taxes. And I say, so what? Whoop-de-doo. Let's pay the tax now and put that into a Roth. The other thing I stress, because a lot of us, and I've had it recently with a couple I was talking to, and they have many times, the ones I talk to, they have children. And I love it when they say, I go, do you have children? You go, well, no, they're grown up. I go, well, what do you call them now? Aren't they your children still? I mean, we have fun. But anyway, my point being is we have children, we have grandchildren. Are we educating them to keep Uncle Sam out of their retirement savings? Go to our website, Soutas.com. There's a couple movie trailers. The one for the children, for those younger people, they need to see the power of zero. And through the website, there's a 2-minute trailer. Check it out. You can call us, fill out the little form. We will send you that for free to watch. You don't have to spend $30 on it. But it's an excellent movie. It's only like 75 minutes. It's not exciting. But
way to sell it.
It's not exciting. It's not the big name people are not in it. Although it's very well researched, and the first half talks about why we need to change how we save for our retirement. The second half is about how to do it, and basically how to keep Uncle Sam out of our savings. So it's a smart movie to see for young ones. I share that.
We've got a couple of clips of these exciting movies that are on Dale's website. You can go to Soutas.com to see what they're about, Soutas.com. Then when you call the phone number, we can send you a code so you can actually watch it at home. Watch it with your spouse, watch it with your family, kind of get the idea of where we're going. We'd love to re-educate everybody out there about tax saving. Look, the mantra for the last 4.5 decades has been to save tax deferred. Put money away in your 401ks, your TSPs, your 450s. Save tax deferred. Look, we're in some of the lowest tax rates in U.S. history. Depending on where you're at, maybe you should start to save a little bit of paying taxes now. Pay on that investment, because when you take that money out later, not only do you get that tax-free, but any of the growth that's in there.
Exactly.
Your accounts over a 20-year period could double, triple. You can look at all different kinds of S&P 500 studies, moderate growth over a 10, 20-year period. That's tax-free money.
Exactly.
That's better than you receiving life insurance and you not having to die for yourself. You're getting tax-free money. But you've got to figure out how to do those strategies now. Dale, again, this comes to inaction. I think people are a little bit worried. Why would I pay more now?
You could watch the movies in privacy of your own home. It's free financial education that we share with anyone that would like to have it. It's smart to see. For the younger ones, the power of zero. For those closer to retirement, the baby boomer dilemma is excellent as well. So, but we try to educate, not only just have you come in for free to see where you're at. It doesn't cost a dime to get some free financial education either.
Yeah. Call 833-856-1382 so you can get a couple of those codes to watch either the Baby Boomer Dilemma or the Power of Zero. 833-856-1382. Or just ask, I want to get started on my own retirement readiness review. I don't know what I don't know. I'd like to sit or talk with Dale. You can do it over Zoom, over the phone, or in person. 833-856-1382. Ask for your own retirement readiness review. We'll be right back after this.
Call financial advisor and retirement specialist Dale Soutis for your complimentary Retire Your Way review. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Do you know how you'll generate income from your investments along with your Social Security in retirement? In our opinion, it's never too early to start the income planning process for your future. An income plan can help you work towards creating a steady stream of income to support you throughout your retirement years. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Take control today and start income planning for your retirement. Call the team at Soutas Financial so we can help you design a complimentary written income plan to help you live the retirement you've always wanted. 833-856-1382.
This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutis of Soutas Financial. Dale, as we're coming towards the end of the year, I start to think, about many things. We've got holiday season coming, but RMDs required.
Oh my goodness, what's an RMD?
RMD required minimum distributions.
Oh, that's right.
Happens at a certain age. This is one of those birthdays I don't know if we celebrate. What is it, 73? Do we throw a party? Do we go fantastic? We have turned 70. Oh, there we go. There's the clowns. We're celebrating.
Well, for a lot of
73.
people, they're thinking around 70 because years ago it used to be the year that you turn 70 and a half, which why'd they do it that way? Who knows? You have to take a required minimum distribution. You have to take some money out of your IRA, 401k, TSP, 403b, whatever. You have to take a certain minimum out but now they pushed it to, it's now 73. If you're born 59 or prior, you have to start taking, your RMDs at 73. If you're born in 1960 or later, that age is going to be pushed to 75. So you have to take out a minimum from those tax-deferred accounts, whether you need it, want it, or not.
Okay.
And life events, I have fun. I ask usually a married couple, I say, now, is your husband ever stubborn? And she smiles. And I go, okay, so you get to a point and the husband says, I don't want to take it out. I don't need it. I don't want it. I want it to grow in my account, keep going. I don't want to pay tax on it. Not, you can't make me take it out. Okay, don't take it out. There's a penalty for delaying. And I just say, if you delay, let's say you're supposed to take $10,000 out. That's your minimum, let's say. And you don't take it out, then when you finally take it out, not only do you have to pay tax on that, but there's a 25% penalty. So $2,500 penalty on top of the tax on $10,000 that you have to pay because you didn't take it out on time. You were stubborn. So it might not pay to be stubborn, Mr. Husband.
Okay. All right. Yeah, these RMDs, there are penalties for doing it incorrectly. It's based on what? I guess your account value at the end of the year. So is it worth starting to do your calculations now, or do you just wait for your statements and start doing this in January?
Okay, so let's say you're 73 this year. The value of your IRA or IRAs and such, those tax-deferred accounts, on December 31st of 24 is the value they use to calculate what you have to take out as a minimum this year. Now, if this is your first year, because you just now turned 73, you can delay that distribution as far as next year, April 1st. Is that smart? Might not be, because then you also have to take another distribution, next year. So you're taking double amount, so it could push your income up too high. So it might be still wise to make sure you take that distribution out before the end of the year. You don't have to take it out the day you turn 73. You have until December 31st to have taken out that minimum distribution. Likewise, the years after, when you're 74, 75, and so on, you still have to take that out before the end of the year.
Okay. Now, I do believe I understand that. So let's say you're at that age. You can either take out the total amount. Let's just call this a very simple one. At first, it's usually about 4%. It's like
3.77.
Okay.
If you're 73.
Yeah. And then it goes up a little bit every single year. They're trying to encourage you to take more and more out as you get older. You can take it all from one account, or you can do it, I guess, over multiple accounts. Here's what I'm concerned about. What do you do if you're married filing jointly and you've got a couple of IRAs, a couple of 401k rollovers, a couple of investment accounts? This starts to get messy, and I want to make sure that folks don't get it wrong, especially with the 25% penalty for not taking it out. So how do you map this all together, Dale?
Okay, so let's say they're retired, they're not still working, and even if they still have the 401k, 403b, TSP, or they have IRAs because they've rolled over some of those 401ks and such to an IRA, maybe it's an IRA with a brokerage firm, so it's on the stock market. And I've seen it many times. People have several different IRA accounts or where they have to take minimums. Once they're retired, we can get the total minimum from each of those accounts, and we can take the total. Let's say it's again $10,000 that you have to take out based on the combined total. You can take that out of one account. You don't have to take a little bit out of each. So it's a matter, and sometimes we take it out of the account that's basically underperforming, let's say. Take it out of that, possibly. It just all depends on what makes sense for that family, their plan, and all that. But if you're still working, though, and you have a 401k or a 403b, TSP, that could be different as far as
You get
whether
that
you
a
have to
lot.
take.
People's to 73 and they're still working. Do you see that?
Yes, I do. So let's have fun with this one. So they're 73. They have a 401k at work or 403b, whatever, that they might be still contributing to. And they have a couple IRAs that they've already rolled over from previous employers. So yes, they'll have to take the minimum out of those IRAs, those individual accounts. IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. So the company plan that they're still working with the employer, they don't have to take a minimum because they're still working. But if they have the RMD, let's see, the 401k plan also, if they're at that point where they have to take it out, you can't combine whatever chunk of money you're supposed to take out of your 401k with the others and take it somewhere else. The company sponsored plans, again, a TSP, 401k, 403b, you have to take the minimum out of it because the rules are different. So it's usually best once you're not working for that company to get it into your own hands, so to speak, get it into your own IRA. So then you don't have to take the minimum out of that in addition to the minimum out of all your others. So it can get complicated, but
okay, boy, man. So
yeah, I threw a lot at
yeah.
you.
So let's forget the working for the moment. We got a couple. We've got 6, 7, 8 different accounts, all different versions of tax deferred, maybe some rollovers. If we're married filing jointly, can we still only take it from one account, or do we want to take it equally from both partners? I guess single filing jointly. And what about inherited accounts? Oh my gosh, now I've added another layer to the RMDs. But
oh yeah, let's not go there yet. Let's say they got 6 different IRAs. Well, 4 IRAs, and they've got 2 401ks. He has a 401k, she has a 401k, and they each have a couple of IRAs. Okay, so there's 6 different accounts, 3 for each. They're both 73 or higher. Okay, so because the 401ks are still a 401k, they didn't roll them over to an IRA. They have to take a minimum based on the value of that 401k out of the 401k. They can't say, okay, I need to take $2,000 out of the 401k. I need to take another, $4,000 out of my 2 IRAs. That would be $6,000 total, and say I'm going to take $6,000 from an IRA. It won't satisfy the minimum distribution on the company plan. The rules are different if you keep them with your employer plan, the 401k and so on. So you have to take that RMD separately from all your other IRAs. But if you have all 6 or 10 or 20 different IRAs, you could get the balance, the total that you have to take from each and take it out of one or maybe a couple of them, whatever makes more sense to you and, with your plan, how to make that money last longer and such. So there's some strategies to these RMDs is bottom line.
Okay. And I know that you say you don't necessarily file taxes for folks, but you do tax planning strategies. Do you help for your clients review every single year, especially since you are a retirement planner? Do you help them review the RMDs to make sure, especially when we get to those magic ages?
Well, yes. And what if you have ones who say, I really don't need it. I've had this many times through the years. They don't need that money. They have to take it out. They don't need it. They don't really want to have to pay tax on it. So I had a wonderful little lady worked with for years, and she got to the point where she had to take her minimum. And I don't need it because she has good income, pension, a couple pensions, and one from her late husband and one for herself. And so I said, well, do you donate to any charities? Oh, yeah, my church. I donate. Well, roughly how much? And let's say she said $200 a month. Okay. So that's $2,400 in the year. Well, the amount she had to take out was, let's say, $5,000 as her minimum. So I said, why don't we have $2,400 come out to the name of your church? You'll get a check made out to your church, and then the balance can come to you. You've met the minimum on the whole $5,000, but you don't have to pay tax on that $2,400. it's still part of your RMD. I've had ones where they don't need any of their RMDs, the money from that, and they have all of their RMDs made out to charities. And you've met the required minimum. It went to a charity, and you didn't have to pay a penny tax on it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you take that $5,000, $10,000 minimum and then turn around and give it to the charity, that's good, but you're paying tax on that $10,000 in this example, and you're likely not itemizing, so you're not getting any deduction or reduction of your taxes because you're using a standard deduction. So there's some neat strategies on the tax side.
Yes. Well, Dale, that's going to be all the time that we have for today. RMDs are coming up in the window. Why don't you get a tax review done here with the team here of Soutas Financial, especially if you're near those ages of 70, especially 73. Give us a call. Let us make sure you're getting an RMD review. You're taking it properly and efficiently so your income lasts as long as you need it to. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Ask for your complete retirement readiness review from Dale Soutis of Soutas Financial. If you're hearing this radio show anywhere around California, we can schedule a time for you over the Zoom or in person. 833-856-1382 is the phone number for you to call. For Dale Soutis, I'm Spike. We'll be back again next week. Qualified Charitable Distribution, QCD, is a direct transfer of funds from your IRA custodian, payable to a qualified charity. QCDs can be counted towards satisfying your required minimum distributions, RMDs, for the year as long as certain rules are met. Some charities may not qualify for QCDs. First consult your tax advisor or the charity for its applicability. As a valued radio listener of Retire Your Way, Dale and his entire team of retirement professionals invite you to schedule your very own complimentary retirement plan review session. 833-856-1382 is the number for you to call. If you don't have a retirement strategy mapped out that includes low-fee investment elections, tax minimization strategies, decumulation plans that will last as long as you need them to, then call for your very own retirement review session, complimentary for our valued radio listeners. Are you able to lower your taxes in retirement? Are you unclear about your Social Security, Medicare, investment fees and risk, or how to produce guaranteed lifetime income so your lifestyle and goals don't have to be changed with the ups and downs of the market or taxes? Call Dale Soutis with Soutas Financial and be confident you can retire your way. Schedule your own comprehensive and complimentary retirement review session. Don't just live in retirement, thrive. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, Foundations, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal is converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Comments regarding a particular client's experience may or may not be the same as another client's experience and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Foundations only transacts business in those jurisdictions where it's properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio, or securities or investment strategy is suitable for any specific person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and estate legacy planning strategies with a legal tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategies discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not in any way refer to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan available in your area, and contacting us at the phone numbers provided herein will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-Medicare to get information on all your options. All rights reserved.